Hello, welcome back. Survival Saturday with Johnny Tiger, December 10th, 2022. Nowadays, even here in Canada, when you are out and about, you never know who is carrying what. I'm not just talking about guns. I'm talking about knives, hair picks, screwdrivers, ninja weapons, machetes. No, I'm not even kidding you. There was a guy who got caught by the police. He was riding his bicycle through downtown Vancouver. And he had a machete stuffed down the leg of his pants. So you never know who is carrying what around you, which is, let me stress this again, really, really bad idea to get into a fight with somebody. Okay? I have been teaching martial arts and self-defense, giving workshops and seminars for many, many years. And while I love a good sparring session, a good knockdown, a good brawl, kicking and punching and choking and wrestling, I love those things. I love that as much as the next guy, or as much as the next testosterone-driven guy. But I will tell anyone that I teach, including people that I don't teach, that no matter how good you are at your martial art, it's a really, really bad idea to test it because you can be the best martial artist in the world, and a little boy with a knife can end your life if you're not careful. Okay, and you can't be careful 24 hours of a day. Let's say you're so badass that you go out there and you get into a fight with 10 drunks at the bar who don't know how to fight, and then you kick their butt. You do your Bruce Lee thing, you do your Jackie Chan, and you knock them all down, and you feel really good about yourself. Well, congratulations. Now you have 10 people that you have to worry about sticking a knife in your back when you're on the street. So are you going to be vigilant for the rest of your life just in case you run into one out of those 10? Do you even remember what they look like? Probably not. Do you know what their cousins look like, their friends look like, their brothers look like? Probably not. It gets really scary. Okay? So this is a little bit of preamble because today I'm going to show you guys a little bit of a more advanced Krav Maga knife defense technique. Honestly, this is the kind of technique that I don't like to show because I always feel that showing people knife defense technique is a little scary because I'm not saying that this is a bad technique. This is actually a really good technique. But if you use this technique without adequate training, without adequate drills and experience and sparring and testing, most likely you will get yourself killed. Okay, so let me stress this. Don't just watch this video 100 times and think you now know how this technique works. You may know how to do it if someone is not resisting. You may know how to do it when it's not a real knife. But when it's a real situation, when it's your life can really be at risk, most likely you will mess up. Okay, so be very, very clear on that. This video is more just so you know the kind of stuff that you can learn and perhaps improve on in Krav Maga and self-defense disciplines like that. What I'm going to show you guys today is called the figure four lock. The figure four lock. And this is used, as you can see, I have a knife being held by my ever vigilant uh, friend, training partner, Bruce here, my training dummy. Sorry, Bruce, don't mean to call you a dummy. So I got a knife strapped to Bruce's arm. So when someone swings a knife at you, if you can, if you can, now if you're blind, obviously it's a problem. But if you can, always try to run away. Okay, always run away from the knife. Don't think that you're so badass that you have to engage. You engage when there's no other choice. When you can't outrun the person. But when there's a choice, always run away. Put something between you and the person, like a table or a bunch of chairs, or preferably a couple of police cars. But in the case where, like, let's say you are blind and you have to engage, or you're trapped against the corner and the person is in front of you and you can't get around them, the knife is swung at your face. Well, that's a little bit close. Uh, First, foremost, keep your arms between you and the person. Both arms, you want to keep them up. Okay, the bottom of the arm, the pinky side of the arm, facing the person. If you get cut here on outside of the arm, most likely you will survive. It's still going to hurt. You're going to bleed a lot. There might be some nerve damage down the road, but it's a lot better than getting the inside of your arm. So you never want to block by presenting the inside of your wrist. No, you always want to block, turning your palm towards yourself using the back of your arm. Okay, if the person cuts you, at least that's the back of your arm. There's no major artery there. There's a lot of, and there's a very solid piece of bone there, so it's okay. It's better than dying. I feel kind of silly saying it's okay because you get cut, but this is a fact. No matter how good you are, if the person have a knife and you don't, you are going to get cut. And you can be a special forces soldier, you're still going to get cut. The only difference is, are you going to get cut and then the pain will stop you and then you start crying and then you get killed? Or are you going to get cut and then you get angry and then push through the pain and then do something about it? That's the only difference. But you will get cut. Okay, knife is coming across like this. You want to have your arms in front of you just in case, but you don't want to meet it. Okay, you want to let the knife go past you. So you want to sort of step back or lean out of the way. Look for the backstroke. Okay, look for the backstroke. And the knife just came loose. Give me 1 second. I'm going to secure this. This is why having a real person to hold the knife would be a lot easier. There we go. So the person, most of the time, when people swing, it's going to be swinging across, and then they have to pull it back. Swinging across, they have to pull it back. Unless you just happen to find one of those uh, Filipino eskrima or Kali knife master where they go left and go up and then come down and go all the different kind of angles, then you're kind of dead. Okay? But most of the time, when you're dealing with someone on the street, it's going to be in, out, left, right, up, down, up. Okay? There's going to be a reloading period, and that's what we're looking for. The knife come across, I lean out of the way. Before their arm can retract, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to go in. Okay, I'm going to go toward the knife, but I need to make sure that I go on the outside. So in this case, the knife is in his left arm. I want to go to his left. I want to stay because if I go here, if I go to the right, he's going to stab me to death, right? So he swings his knife from left to right. I lean out of the way, and I'm going to jump in and catch his arm on my forearm. before he can bring it back to the left side. My forearm are parallel to his left arm. So look like I'm doing a two-arm block. My forearm, both forearm against his forearm, so he can't bring it back across, not immediately. Once I catch this, my inside arm, the arm that's closest to him, will glide over the top of his arm and under like a snake, weaving around and then cup the wrist of my outside hand, while my outside hand will cup his wrist, forming a nice little figure four. Once I'm here, once I form this, I'm very secure. Okay, so here is where I can do something nice or I can do something really bad. The nice thing to do is to start putting pressure on his wrist because remember my outside hand is on his wrist, my inside hand is supporting my outside hand. So all I have to do is bring this in and jam the wrist down. If this wasn't a training dummy, if this was a real person, that either going to break the wrist or they're going to let go of the knife. Right? Try it yourself. Try it yourself at home. Um, Hold the knife tight in your hand, and then take your other hand and then bring your wrist down and in. Push your wrist in. You'll notice that once it's done hard enough, your hand open up. You drop the knife. Okay? Human body mechanic. No trick. No magic to it. It's just simple body mechanic. So we establish our figure four lock. My inside arm glide over the attacker's arm, weaving under, cupping my own wrist, my outside hand on their wrist, jamming this down to release the knife. Now, in situations where this person is so big and powerful that they can hold on and I can't bend their wrist, this is when we have to do something naughty. In this case, if I am doing this figure four lock and applying pressure on his wrist and I can't get him to drop the knife, then I'm going to shove my whole shoulder into him and then turn into him. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. When I shove and turn, it brings the knife right into his own chest. This is going to kill him. Okay, there's no question about this one. It's going to kill him. But in this case, he's swinging a knife at me. So I'm pretty sure this is legit self-defense. I don't really have to worry about it, um, having to go to jail for this one. But like I'm sure most of us prefer if we don't have to kill anybody. So yeah, like I said, that's a nice way by bending the wrist, makes them drop the knife, and then you kick the knife away. But if they won't let go, or if they give you too much of a fight, or if they are reaching for the knife with their other hand, then unfortunately you have to jam the knife back into them and get the conflict over with. The figure four lock is a very nice Krav Maga technique. It's a little bit more advanced. Even in sparring, you'll notice that it's really hard to get this to work sometimes. But once you can lock it in, you almost always get the knife away from the person. When you practice this, be very careful because the knife is kind of close to your face sometimes. So always keep goggles on or glasses on, wear protection, and don't struggle too hard. Before I go, I want to quickly mention this again because this is a constant uh, topic that come up in self-defense training and Krav Maga training. Some people say, well, if I struggle hard and you can't get the technique to work, then that means the technique is bad. This is not true, okay? When you struggle really, really hard, when you make it a real struggle in class, in a training setting, then your partner have to hit you for real. This is the only reason why sometimes these things don't work. It's because some people are not comfortable elevating themselves to that point. They don't want to hurt their partner. So when their partner is going with the training knife, like full force, like with the training knife, they can't get their technique to work because they are unwilling to hurt their partner. Now, if you come at me with the full force in training, and I'm going to pop you right in the face and then hit you in the throat, yeah, my technique's going to work, no question about it. But you end up in the hospital, and we don't want that. So when you train, always remember sometimes it's not that it doesn't work. It's because your partner don't want to hurt you. That's all. Okay? Keep that in mind. And also we gotta remember that if you go full force with a training knife and your partner go full force with a fist, most likely you are the person that's going to get hurt because you are using a fake knife. They are using real fist. Okay? So uh, don't be an a-hole about it during training. Okay, only go as hard as it is warranted. Thank you for checking out today's episode. We'll be back again tomorrow for Soul Search Sunday. And remember, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at JohnnyTiger1981. Bye now.